Back on today, we have one of my favorite comic couples, Amanda Deibert, and today, Kat Staggs. How are you both doing this afternoon?
Good. Hi, good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic here. I'm glad to have you back. Trying to get up a bunch of these couple sessions up for the Valentine's Day holiday. Amanda, I can't thank you enough for being on last time because your episode was one of the most popular I did at that point. And we got to talking so much, and I kind of felt bad because we were talking about Kat and she wasn't there, and I really wanted a chance to talk about her artwork too. And we were talking about the possibility of creating as a couple, and I'd like to get into that a little more if we could.
Sure.
So you were talking about your creativity feedback sessions where you'll start bouncing on your ball and she starts sketching, and what is that like when you're actually right in the moment there?
I mean, it's great. The lovely thing about us working together is that we have a very natural shorthand. You know, I can do, like, when we're working on an actual comic book together, I can go a lot more sparse in the descriptions. I can leave a lot more to chance because I know that she knows what I mean because, you know, we've been together a long time. We have this lovely shorthand. And then also, like, I'm right in the next room. So if she has a question, she can be like, hey, babe, what does the sentence actually mean?
It's very handy. Yeah.
It is. And then, you know, just in general, I think, you know, in us working in the same field but different elements, it's easy for us to, even things that we're not working on together, to run something by, hey, if I did this, would that, you know, does that work in your mind? Or she'll say, you know, I did these 2 different sketches for a cover. Which one do you like? Or like, I was thinking about this or this. And it's like, that's also very nice.
Being able to get the instant feedback from someone you trust is really great.
And I noticed, like, I'm thinking, for example, when I see Amanda post something online that she really finds interesting, it'll be, you know, a funny joke or a neat illustration or something, and then I look at Kat's work, and you have a very pulp-ish or very vintage-ish style to a lot of what you do, and that's what I love about it most, honestly.
Thank you.
And
that's great. That means I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, even if it's wrong, I still like it. But yeah, I can see how that you two would relate to each other that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, we tend to. I mean, we have things that we're both into that the other one's not so much. But like, we tend to enjoy similar types of media, similar types of music, similar. So, like, you know, the places that we draw artistic inspiration and the things that we gravitate toward are similar, which I think is another reason that we collaborate together well, because we're kind of on that same artistic wavelength a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to the media that did you meet or did you get to know each other over, say, a certain show, movie, book? Was there something that you connected over?
I mean, we did watch a lot of films together.
Yeah.
Early in dating.
Yeah, we did. We watched a lot of movies
together. A lot of movies together.
If I had to sit there and name them all, I don't think I could.
There was a lot. We did, yeah. I would say, like, in our early dating time, we definitely spent a lot of time going to films together or watching films together at my house when you came to visit. Yeah. So yeah, that definitely was a big part of our relationship. Realizing that we liked the same things, that we could spend time together doing the same kind of things, was very helpful.
Yeah.
I think when you watch something, especially movies in particular, because they're a singular experience, sometimes that just becomes part of the movie for you, is that, you know, you saw it for the first time with this person, and that can be very good or very bad depending on how that person affected your life.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm looking over the body of work you've both done. We have a lot of things in common. Like, I'm a huge DC guy, for one thing. And that's obviously something you guys really... is there something about the DC universe that you just feel at home doing that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely grew up as a DC kid. I was Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman. That was my growing up. And I've always gravitated towards DC.
I mean, we both like and enjoy other universes as well, Marvel and beyond. But I think we both kind of first and foremost, DC is kind of home base for us both in work, but also in media that we consume or what we read, what we watch. It tends to be DC first.
Is there something about it in particular that you just feel like that's what grabs onto you?
I don't know. I always just related to those stories more. I don't know. It's not like I didn't have access to anything else. I read Daredevil for a while. I read some Spider-Man, but I really always gravitated towards the DC stories. I couldn't tell you why. It was just what I liked. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Where I imagine it had a lot to do with visuals for me too. I liked the design of,
the design.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, I was talking about how you're really into vintage and retro ideas, and DC characters tend to be older. They tend to have been made in the golden age or the very early silver.
Right.
So I can see where that's coming from.
Yeah. That is probably what it is.
DC is also not afraid of using characters as archetypes or as very broad strokes. And I know from your feeds, your Twitter feeds, you're both very into lifting up and inspiration and the nitty gritty that's, for example, the Spider-Man gets into, where it's like you care about that particular character and his problems right then, and there's a place for that.
Right.
But
absolutely.
It's not the big picture stuff DC likes to play with.
Right.
Have you tried to make your own characters for just your own personal, without trying to pitch them for work?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have developed things ourselves that we're still putting things together. But yeah, we've worked on our own hero type things, non-hero type things.
Yeah, we have a slate of, I guess we'd say, like, creator-owned concepts, characters, stories that we would like to do. The tricky part gets into finding time where we're both not already committed to other projects, so that we have the time. Because obviously, when you're doing your passion projects, those get put on the back burner every time that you're working on something with a pressing deadline. And so it's definitely something we enjoy. It's definitely something we want to do more of. For us, a lot of times it's the time element. It's both of us working. We also have a young daughter who, it's the pandemic, so she's doing virtual kindergarten. So one of us has to be with her while the other one's trying frantically to get some work done, and then we tag out. And, so it's the time is really the trickiest part of that for us.
I can definitely relate, as can almost any parent who's on here right now. And that was something we brought up last time, is that the idea of working during the pandemic is difficult, for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Creative work, where you don't necessarily have measurable deadlines and measurable goals, it's a very qualitative process. That's got to be extra hard.
Well, also in getting in the right headspace. I mean, this we've all faced a year of unimaginable stress, and being able to create something in that is really difficult. There are days where it just isn't happening. You know.
I mean, at many other jobs, again, not to disparage any particular person, but you can crunch the numbers a little more, you can move a couple extra boxes, and you'll get closer to your goal. But if you're in a creative space and it's not happening, it's just not happening.
Yeah. There are definitely days where I feel like my drawing arm is broken. Just nothing computes.
I mean, the thing is, you still have to get it, we still deal in a world with deadlines. We still have to get it done. The pages are due when the pages are due. Right. So we have to, there's still a bit of, like, just get through it and do what you need to do, pull an all-nighter. And, it's a privilege too, right? I mean, we're lucky enough that we work as creatives for a living. That's a dream for many people. It's extremely difficult. There were a lot of lean years of working multiple jobs and we're not making any money in order to get to a point where that is what we do for a living. But it is, you know, I'm always very aware that it's such a privilege to be able to do what we do. And it is really challenging some days, you know, when you're having to jump out of like helping my daughter, you know, deal with like her math or science project or whatever, and then going back into like, okay, but I need to like find a moment to squeeze out 2 pages and get in a flow and, you know, write dialogue that doesn't sound clunky. And, you know, it is a challenge to like move back and forth between those headspaces versus getting nice, quiet, uninterrupted time where you can sit with your coffee and really ponder what you want to say. It's just not possible right now. So you really just have to go, okay, I just gotta like be creative right now.
And when you were told that, you know, you get to be a mom and you're going to help with the homework and you're on board with that, but nobody ever tells you, yeah, you're going to have to do that while figuring out the iPad settings and where the Zoom meeting works and the stuff that gets in the way of all the homework.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of the minutia of just, I mean, and obviously this is something like before this year, none of us had done. So we're all learning together. The teachers are learning, the kids are learning, the parents are learning. So, you know, we're all getting, I think, collectively better at it. But it is a very bizarre, it's just weird. Yeah. I mean, we're all in it. We all have different situations, but like, I don't think it's not weird for any of us.
Like, Kat, the way you said that you think your drawing arm was broken, I had 2 conversations in the past 3 days with other artists who are not professional, but who said almost the exact same thing, that some days they just can't do it. And do you have any advice for them where they feel devalued because of that?
I learned a long time ago that you just kind of have to power through. I mean, like Amanda was saying, is like there are deadlines and they have to be met. So sometimes you just have to push through, and hopefully the wall will break. And if it doesn't, then you wake up the next day and you go at it twice. It's hard to try and catch up. I mean, that's all you can do.
That's all you can. And do you think it's fair to say that the parts that you're most critical of, some people don't even see?
Absolutely. For sure. Absolutely. There'll be some little thing that just, for me, that's all I see when I look at it, you know, but someone else probably wouldn't even notice.
Well, you know, I mean, that's the thing is when you're an artist of any kind, you know, it's the same thing. I can look at something that I've written and know that there's something that I need to rewrite. There's something that even somebody's like, oh, the story works. It's like, no, I can do better. I know I can, there's a little something I can do that will judge it. And I think that's, yeah. You know, some critiques can be too harsh, but sometimes it's because you know something that the rest of us can't see.
Right. And nothing, to be honest, if an artist tells you a piece is finished, they're lying, because nothing is ever finished. You can always do it better.
When in doubt, push it out.
Yep, exactly.
I bring that up because when I was talking to these people earlier this week, that was exactly what I felt like saying. But, you know, I am not an artist at all, at least not a visual one.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's incredibly frustrating, but there are times where sometimes you're powering through, and sometimes something will just click, and then you can get into it and you can start going. But like I said, sometimes it doesn't, so then you just walk away and come back tomorrow. You know, that's all you can do.
Have you ever had a situation where you're working on something that just seems to be all wrong, and then one stroke of the pen makes it perfect?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I recently just did a commission. I ended up drawing it 4 times before I finally got it where I wanted it to go.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That amazes me, just being able to start all over and have the attitude. So that's real positivity.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, when we spoke last time, you gave your contact info and your social media info so people could follow you. I haven't had the chance to ask Kat that. Kat, when we get somebody on here who wants to follow your work, where can they find it?
I have a website, which is just catstaggs.com. On Twitter, I'm just at catstaggs. On Instagram, it's catstaggsofficial. And I have a Facebook page. It's like 9 Lives, The Art of Cat Staggs or something like that.
I'm going to make sure all that gets into the show notes too, so we can make sure that gets pushed out.
Yeah, it'd be great. Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. One last question, just before we wrap everything up. If you two were going to design something different about the DC universe, something that exists but you'd like to change it, you have carte blanche, no judgment. It can be serious or funny. What would you want to do?
Wow.
Oh my God, I don't know if I have an answer to this.
I don't either.
That's okay.
I mean,
really don't.
I mean, I guess my general would just be more lesbians everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
that woman back.
Like lesbians in every book, just lots of lesbians.
Yeah. I'll go with that. I'll go with that too. That'll be my answer too.
And we might have a title for the episode now.
Lesbians everywhere. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Well, again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you.